This is the web series For the Love of BIM, promoting Barbados, everything Bajan Canadian, and everything Canadian Bajan.
54 years of independence, for the love of BIM, for the love of BIM.
Welcome to another episode in the web series For the Love of BIM. I am your host, Consul General Sonia Marvel Carter. And I could hardly believe it, but we are at the 14th of November already. We are practically flying through November. But last week, I asked you to submit your videos, your 20-second videos, telling us what independence means to you. What does Barbados' independence mean to you? And it's still time for you to get your videos in. I gave you a 14th of November deadline, but I will extend it by a few days. So if you can get those videos into us by the 18th of November, we will be very happy to showcase your video in the next, well, we only really have two more weeks. So get your videos in as soon as possible and you will be a part of our program within the next 2 weeks. This month, as we focus not just on independence, but on health and wellness, I want you to use this time right here and now to relax. Just entertain pleasant thoughts and generally be calm. If you have no physical ailments that would prevent you from doing so, I invite you at this time to just rotate your shoulders backwards. Wherever you are, if you're sitting in the chair, if you're lying in the bed, sit up a bit and just rotate your shoulders backwards. Like I said, if you can do that safely, please join us. Rotate your shoulders backwards. And then I want you to take a deep breath. You're going to hold it for 2 seconds and then exhale. Now you are ready to continue with us on this episode. So sit back and take in 2 of the independence videos that we would have received.
Hello, my name is Jessica Carrington. I'm the past president of Barbados Overseas Community Canada, Inc. I came to Canada in August 1966 before we actually got independence in November 30th. I came to Canada to be independent and to get an independent life for my family to come. I married my childhood sweetheart in 1970, and both him and I, we worked within the Barbados community, helping others, donating to various charities. But most importantly, we were able to contribute to my island home, Barbados, my native land. What does independence mean to me? It means that I am now independent to make my own life and move forward into the community. We usually celebrate these events with flag raisings. In better years, when we were able to meet together, we had the Independence Gala and attend various other organization functions throughout the year. Here we are, 2020. Independence still means the same thing to me: greatness, family, and friends. Let us celebrate 54 years of independence. Let us celebrate as we go forward. On behalf of the Barbadians here in Canada, my friends and my family, happy 54th independence.
Independence is a time where we come together as a nation to celebrate the accomplishments that we've made through the years. It's all about the freedom to showcase our talents, to assist in the development of our island, and the choice to share our culture and our beauty with the world.
Thank you, Auntie Jess, and thanks, Sheena, for submitting your videos. Next, we're going to feature a Barbadian association in Edmonton, Alberta, and that will be followed by an amazingly talented guy by the name of Gregory Birkett. So, over to you, Edmonton.
Friends of Barbados Association Edmonton showcases Barbados and Barbadian culture while welcoming members of all nationalities. A family-friendly organization, we focus on cultural events, community involvement, economic partnerships, and giving back to Barbados. We have supported artisans desirous of traveling from Barbados to Edmonton, providing avenues to showcase and sell their creations on the international stage. Our annual Independence Banquet is a sold-out event, and our participation in the annual Edmonton Heritage Festival continues to evolve each year. We endeavor to use our resources to support our home country while being active and productive citizens in our adopted home. We thank you so much for joining us today, and you know we do it for the love of BIM.
I don't understand one thing when I try to listen to word of song. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried and I know that's something wrong. Every time the DJ decide to play, one hands go up in the air. Everybody chanting.
I think very scruffy then. And you go over like, how you know? I like. Are you good? Look, every day your father laughs you. got the same kneecaps and everything, the same way.
Central's never busy, always on the line. We could hear from free to one and all. When you get in trouble, give this royal line a call. Telephone to Bertie or watch our divine. I can feel the current moving on the line. Built by God the Father for his love and love. We may talk to Jesus on this royal telephone. There will be no charges. Telephone is
We have Barbadian associations all over Canada, and they fly the Bajan flag high, high, high. So please support their events and support their charities as they give back not just to Barbados, but they offer support to Barbadians right here in Canada as well. Thank you, Edmonton. I now invite you to enjoy the lyrical stylings of Mr. Gregory Birkett with a piece I have renamed The Canadian Bajan Story. Over to you, Greg.
The Barbadian Canadian reality that is my life. Listen, my family used to talk about Barbados, or back home as they used to call it, as if it were just a few notches below the Garden of Eden. Stories, characters, circumstances, different foods, songs, sayings, and dances that seemed so surreal and outlandish that they became increasingly harder for me to believe in. See, I was born in Canada, but my parents and all 4 of my siblings came here from BIM. So by the time I was 4 years old and ready to start school, my Bajan indoctrination was so thorough that you couldn't convince me that I was anything other than Barbadian. I tell you, you could only imagine the other children and the teachers looking at this poor little boy oddly when he came to school and announced that his favorite drink was Mabi, or asked politely to be excused because he needed to go and jobby. When the other little boys were keeping noise, talking about their hero Wayne Gretzky and their favorite sport, hockey, I was telling stories about wickets and overs and sticking them out that the best athlete who ever lived was none other than Gary Sobers. When it was time for snacks, my classmates would reach into their knapsacks and pull out treats like potato chips, licorice, Twinkies, and squares made of Rice Krispies, while I would put my hand into a brown paper bag and unwrap layers of tin foil to get at my delicious turnovers, sweet bread, or on occasion, conkeys. These are experiences that I will not soon forget, but I kid you not, I haven't even mentioned some of the best yet. I remember asking my father if he could give me just a few seconds to help me with my math homework, and he said, "Oh, you mean you want me to learn you how to reckon?" I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about, but the assignment was soon due, and I didn't know what to do. So I showed him my division and multiplication problems, and he launched into a song that started with, 2 2s are 4, 2 into 4, 2. Needless to say, I didn't have a clue. And when he realized that I was puzzled and confused, he said, "Kadir, this one like he ain't too bright. He don't see in truth." But in pursuit of peace and happiness, a Canadian kid with Barbadian parents didn't ask too many questions, make too many requests, or offer lots of suggestions. Mommy and Daddy were right, and there were to be no objections. So you know what would happen when I tried to weigh in on my lunchtime selections. My cries for pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and fries fell on deaf ears when I asked. As my friends opened their lunchboxes and sometimes exchanged exciting food items, no one wanted to trade with the little boy who had flying fish and cuckoo stuffed to the brim of a flask. I tell you, the task of being a Bajan Canadian was not always easy, but it was rather unique, especially when you take into consideration the interesting way that we speak. When my friends came around, I would literally beg my parents not to use expressions like cheese on bread, willa, kadir, and brugadung. And then, of course, they seemed to always be savoring an opportunity to use one of those old-time Bajan sayings. If I tried to do something my way and dared to ignore their advice, I would definitely have hard ears you wait here or way you going feel hollered at me at least twice. If the sun was shining and the rain was falling and I wanted to play outside, I'd have to sneak out quick. Or I'd surely be told, look, a boy standing here. You don't see the devil and the wife out there fighting for the cuckoo stick? Worries about taking a dip or swimming in any water would bring about warnings galore. Even if you were going to a wading pool, they would still say, try and be careful, cause the sea ain't got no back door. But as I got older and wiser and more mature, my appreciation and affinity to all things Barbadian grew more and more. My Bajan upbringing taught me manners, gave me a good work ethic, instilled pride and emphasized respect, encouraged me to be thankful for every blessing, to be willing to help or share with others, positive attributes that I will never reject. Old-time Barbadians had high standards that they proudly passed on to their offspring. To write our names on history's page with expectations great is reflected in the anthem that we sing. Sometimes others mistake the generally gentle demeanor of the average Bajan for weakness, frowning on or looking down upon our humility and our meekness. But to me, our quiet strength is a feature to be admired. I have no complaints with Barbadian self-restraint. I think it's something to be desired. How others can say that Barbadians are soft and seldom, if ever, fight for our rights is simply a mystery. It's unadulterated ignorance because evidence of our resilience is displayed throughout our history. If they come at you with this misinformed brand of foolishness, please confidently tell them that we are the offspring of Bussa, a strong West African warrior who led one of the biggest Caribbean enslavement rebellions. Riots in 1937, an uprising of the people, led by Wickham, O'Neill, and Clement Payne, intellectual giants who fought to make things fair and equal. Sir Grantley Adams, Earl Barrow, and other champions who led Barbados into independence, paving the way for what we see today, one of the most stable nations in the region, powered by the ingenuity and intelligence of their descendants. It only makes sense that we gather in a show of total support and homage to BIM, the Rock, the one and only island nation called Barbados, the place that is responsible for giving this world some of its greatest gifts, its children, all of us.
Now, wasn't that awesome talent? I applaud you, Greg, and look forward to showcasing more of your work. And finally, I leave you with a Bajan proverb that was submitted by a friend of mine in Barbados called Deborah. Tell me if you know it. Bajan proverb. Bucket going up and down in a well every day, the bottom bound to drop out. Meaning, if we keep our minds and bodies under constant stress, we are bound to burn out. Take a time out. Well, that's all the time we have, folks. But remember, next week, Saturday, November 21st, is the BCA's Independence Gala. Support with a nominal donation of $40, which goes to a very worthy cause, and enjoy the awesome entertainment package lined up. Bye for now, and until next time, be safe.
Thank you.